In this chapter, we get to put it all together. We'll take our previous projects and mix in some buttons and a little ActionScript and turn it into a full Flash website complete with a working navigation system and links to things like other websites and email. To get things started, I've already opened up the Channel 4 interactive FLA file, and you'll find that in your Chapter 7 folder in your project files. We can see we've got a few things started. We've got a quick background here and a logo and a tagline. They're all set up in layers, and I can see a layer for buttons, and that's where we'll start. I'll just click the button layer, and we can work on creating our button objects. Buttons are symbols, and we know how to make symbols, we just need some graphics to work with. So let's just create a simple rectangle graphic. I'll select my rectangle tool, and I'm actually going to choose the primitive one, since it's much better at rounding corners. Let's set up our basic properties. I want the stroke to be, let's say, light gray. And I'm going to put in here 2 pixels, so it's nice and thick. It's also good to turn on hinting. Hinting is a way to make sure that your vector shapes stay smooth, even if you don't have them positioned at a whole pixel value on the stage. I'll set the fill color to, let's say, a medium blue value here. And I'm just going to draw out a small rectangle right here underneath the logo. Since we used our rectangle primitive tool, I can just switch over to our normal selection tool, go to these corners, and adjust the rounding how I'd like. So we got a little bit of rounding there right on the edges of our rectangle. Now I'm just going to resize this a little bit. I want it just a tiny bit smaller. Centered up nicely underneath the 4. And that's going to be the base of our button. Now we've made symbols before. All I need to do is select this object. I'm going to go up to Modify and Convert to Symbol, or you can use your F8 keyboard shortcut. This time though, we're going to be choosing a button symbol. Now let's give this a nice name. This is going to be my news button. So we'll just name it that. I'm going to set my registration point at the center and click OK. And just like before, we've got a symbol graphic. It should appear in our library, and there's our new news button. Now, buttons already look a lot like the other symbols that we've used so far. We can confirm that we've got a button with the icon and the button right here in the Properties panel, and we can also see some familiar properties. I've got color effect and display and filters just like our movie clips, but you'll notice we don't have any 3D properties for buttons. Those are exclusively for our movie clip objects. Now, buttons do get some things built in, and without even making any changes, we can see one of them just by testing our movie. Of course, we're going to need to test movie and not use play in order to preview how our buttons are working. So I'm going to go down and choose Test Movie. And what I'd like to show is that we've got a hand cursor that activates automatically and changes from the normal cursor whenever we roll over the button. Now, that doesn't work the same way with our normal movie clips. So let's close up this preview, and we'll take a look at what else we've got to work with on buttons.